All right, let's talk installment loans. Now, this formula looks a little funky. It's involved. So, an installment loan is basically any kind of a loan that you make installment payments, right? If you make a monthly payment, so a car loan, a boat loan. I don't know who buys boats, but a boat loan. If you buy a jet ski on installment, or on a monthly payment type of a thing, a house, you could use house. Usually, there's amortization table, so it's different. Anyway, think about a car loan. This would be probably the most widely acceptable installment loan. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about this formula. P equals D times the quantity, 1 minus the quantity, 1 minus R over N, raised to the negative N times T all over R over N. Now, what does all of this stuff mean? So P is the principal, right? That's the amount you're borrowing. Are you buying a $40,000 car? Then P is $40,000, okay? D is the monthly payment. So how much are you paying every month? That's D. R is the annual percentage rate. Now, generally that comes as a percent, so we've got to change it to a decimal to play. N is the number of times compounded per year. Okay, generally we make monthly payments. There are 12 months in a year, so generally N is 12, generally. T is time in years. Okay, now, if there are times where you're trying to find the monthly payment, so we can manipulate this formula. I manipulated it for you to find D. So if you need to find the monthly payment, just think about taking that principal, multiplying by the rate divided by N, and then divide by this big whole funky thing. Now, if you don't know how to use your calculator super well, you're going to need to use the order of operations and try to not round as much as possible or take it out to like 8 decimal places, because the more you round, the farther off from accurate your answer is going to be. But alas, this is the general area. Okay, so Danny knows she can afford a monthly car payment of $320. The local bank advertises auto loans at 5% interest for 6-year loans. What is the top value of a car Danny can afford? Okay, so she's kind of thinking through, what is that P value that I'm looking for? So let's go ahead and plug things into this formula. Danny's trying to find the principal amount of a car she can afford. She knows her monthly payment could be $320. So let's go ahead and I'm going to walk through the keystrokes in a calculator for this one, if you will. Okay, so 5% is 0.05. We're dividing that by 12 because she's going to make monthly payments. And then there's 12 months in a year, and this is a 6-year car loan. All over R divided by N. Oops. I guess I could put values in for R and N. 0.05 over 12. Okay, now, again, I talked about how we want to round as little as possible. So thinking about order of operations. When we're thinking order of operations, we're going to think innermost parentheses first. So if I take, so I'm going to take this value, 0.05 divided by 12, add it to 1, raise it. This right here is negative 72. So raise it to the negative 72nd power. And that's going to give me 1 minus 0.74128 ... continues on in my calculator, all over 0.05 over 12. Right, so that's the first step that I did. I kind of did all of that together. Again, 0.05 divided by 12 plus 1, and get an answer. Then raise that to the negative 72nd power, and you get 0.74128, and it keeps going on. Now, I'm going to take my calculator, and I'm now going to do inside here. So I'm going to hit 1 minus the answer. Most calculators have a way to hit second answer, or just keep it these 5 decimal places. But I'm going to have approximately 320 times 0.258719. Again, it goes on forever. Divided by 0.05 over 12. Well, now I'm going to multiply that answer that's in my calculator, that 0.258719, multiply that by 320. So that gives you 82.79, and it keeps going on and on and on, over 0.05 over 12. So now in my calculator, I've got the 82.79, and let me just get a new page here. I'm going to type in 82.79 divided by, and then in parentheses, 0.05 divided by 12. That's what I would type in, hit enter, and it's going to throw out a value for P of $19,869.69. Now, at any point in time, if you round it in there, that's okay, right? Rounding isn't the end of the world, but just know if you're off by 20, 30, 40 cents, that's why. I did not round one time in my calculation. I always kept that answer in my calculator, and it just kept building. I kept working off of my previous answer. You want to do that as much as possible because it makes your answers as accurate as possible. Okay, I want to talk about one more quick problem. Gabby wants to buy a car, and the following formula is given. 24,500 equals D times quantity 1 minus 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 5 all over 0.04 times 12. What do you know about this loan? And really, this is just becoming aware of what we have, right? So if we recognize 24,500, that, I don't know what that was, that is the price of the car, right? That's how much she's going to borrow. We know that 0.04 is the same as 4%. Why does that keep giving me the same thing? What am I hitting? I don't know. Computers are fun. That is giving me the annual interest rate. Can't type all of a sudden. These are monthly payments. I know that because of the 12. Again, I can't type. 5 years. And I believe that's all I know. I do not know the monthly payment because I don't know D. But based off of everything else in there, those are the 4 pieces that I know. So just kind of be aware on what the different pieces are in a formula and how they relate. And that will kind of help you at least be knowledgeable about what kind of things people are throwing at you. So installment loans, thanks.